with the new EP, the new songs, you have kind of gone back to the older style. It sounds amazing. Everybody seems to be loving that. What prompted you to kind of go back to that sound?
Uh, I feel we didn't. We the only thing we said going into this album was let's focus a little bit more on the production. Let's bring the guitars a little bit more in the forefront in the mix, and more focus on getting some punchy drums, stuff like that. And I think that is what I mean. Obviously, we talk about taste here and
Yeah.
vibes and whatever. It's very personal. I think that's what people hear. I mean, we attack the album, the writing the same way. I think the DNA of In Flames, that's melody and aggression, and that's what we go for. And the mix, and we don't want to write the same album. And there are years in between. We don't write when we're in between albums. We don't write on the road. We set a date and then we go in and we do it. And it's interesting. I find because I've done a lot of interviews now for leading up to the album, and I hear that going back to something, but I don't necessarily know what people mean exactly because we have so many. There's like, do you mean 2015 or 5 or 94? What do you mean? Like, so, yeah, but I mean, to me, if you like it, that's awesome. If you don't, then sorry, I can't help you. And whatever. But it's very important, I guess, to describe music for someone. Like to put it in a box. And
Mhm.
I, I don't want to be associated with one particular box. I like to be in several. But I feel we what we have created is an album that really um explains what In Flames is about, without me having to explain every single thing. I want people's interpretation. And if that means, as I said, what year, what album, whatever that they can attach this album to, then so be it. And yeah,
Well,
yeah.
it's interesting that you say that because I agree with you. People act like the band has changed a lot. And before we did this, I went back and listened to all their older albums just to make sure that I was familiar. I was like, I don't actually think, I mean, obviously you started using more clean vocals at one
Yeah,
point, but
sure.
other than that, I don't actually really think the band changed all that much.
Um, I don't obviously there are songs and so on, but I said to a bunch of people now, just an experiment. It would be interesting if we could record every single song um, of our discography and every album with the same circumstances, same people, same instruments, the same feeling we have going in to record. That I think it would be way more similar, to be honest. But now because of years in between, and also as a fan, you might not think it. You think you stay the same, but you change inputs and you change, what you like and don't like, and um, yeah. So and it's funny with our band. It's like we always have to talk about this. Like
Right.
it's like we have to defend our choices or whatever it
Yeah.
is. And I mean, I'm aware, and I think I don't know. I don't think I definitely believe, and that everyone you are entitled to your opinion, and that's totally fine. And if from my point of view, if you join the game, if you sign a deal and record an album and you release it, you should be open to criticism, good or bad. Like I can't hide behind that. But this is I try to put my heart and soul into the music, and when I give the album to the record company, I am 100% satisfied, like every time. And then it's way easier for me um to sit back and relax when the album is out. Like I don't have to. I am not worried because I know I like it. I know I've done my best, and for me, it's also a way of um, I don't know how to describe it, but it's like I've owned the album up until the release this 10th February the 10th, right? Then I don't. The album don't belong to me anymore. It belongs to someone else, to the people. Like and wherever that take the album, the sound, the band, I'm not in control. So it's no point in me if someone said something that I don't agree with, I can't. There's no. Why should I even bother? And try to convince that person to think different. It's not. It's not fair. It's not right, and it's just like it is what it is.
I think you made a really good point about fans changing. I'm sure you've heard a lot of people basically tell you for 20 years to make Clayman Part Two. And I think what people forget is that part of what makes Clayman to them is who they were at the time they heard it. Like if you heard that album for the first time today, it wouldn't be the same thing to you as when you heard it 20 years ago, when you were 20 years younger, a different point in your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, not at all. And it's extremely difficult for bands to compete with something that a fan heard for the first time. Like, I love this album. Like, okay, whatever we do next will not be, could be close, but it's not up to par. Um, and also, I think we all. I mean, I'm the same. I'm not. I'm a musical fan too. I mean, people don't forget that. I do love music. Like I have my favorite bands, and I might not agree with everything that band released. So, but um, I don't know. I lost the thread, but it's like, uh, it's yeah, it's difficult to satisfy like everybody, because if like 1,000 people said write this song, I know we would have 1,000 different versions or choices or preferences or whatever. So it's yeah, just enjoy it. It's, yeah.